Hello and welcome to Fragments of Remains, Session 32, Shadows of Black and Purple. It's been just about a month since our last session, combined with just a little bit of scheduling conflicts along with, just time off as well. But with that, go around, check in with everyone quickly, and then get into a recap of the best that we can possibly. Whatever is, you know, relayed as information, as long as, of course, that information is true. I'll award bonus XP, but then whatever's missing, I will fill in. So, first, let's start with Zanashi. Zanashi, you always have some interesting projects going on.
How long has it been since we played?
Almost a month.
God damn. A lot of shit's going on in a month. Uh, well, as far as projects, I am redesigning my workbench. So I tore it down. I got a planer. Got one pretty cheap off of Marketplace. Works like a champ. Uh, got in my first in-person game in years and only played one session so far because we took off 4th of July because those too many people going to be out. But man, I really enjoyed it. DM's pretty good DM, and he has hell of a tabletop setup that he does. But I think other than that, that's pretty much about it. Just work, messing around in the garage and other little things here and there.
Nice. I miss my in-person games. I've got like all these like miniatures and things like that, and I feel like I haven't used them in two, at least almost 2 years, maybe more.
Yeah, this guy, he's literally got all his Dungeons and Dragons stuff in a room by itself because he's got so much of the terrain and every damn thing else that he has to just designate one room to store it all.
Life goals. Writing that down.
Yeah.
Lusk, I know, check in with you every once in a while on some of the other games, but anything new you'd like to share?
Man, the only thing I can think about right now is if I had a D&D room, I'd want a freaking custom-made table, with like magnetic stands that you can attach to the table and magnetic uh, you know, oh gosh, what are they called? Cup holders and just, magnetic dice holders, the whole nines. I That's about all I can think about right now.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna build me one day.
That I mean, people make a good ass living. They sell the tables like that online for like I've seen Kickstarters for $2,000 and up, honestly. But
Ridiculous.
I've even seen one that had room for like a mounted TV in the middle so you could broadcast your maps to it, and then there was like glass over it so that you could still place your minis. Anyhow. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Kyle.
Valencia? And Valencia's gone?
Sorry, my uncle came in. What'd you say?
How was your time off?
Time off. Didn't feel like it because I have a job now. But recently, since I came in when Steak and Shake was under construction, that finished, and so now it's no longer just the drive-through. It's also the inside of the store is open with tables and everything. And I learned that uh, we
Gets a
have
lot
these.
busier.
Yeah, that too. Not only that, but it doesn't work. It's not like a second drive-through. It's more like an easier way to order. So if you have a large group of people coming in at once, and they can use these tablets that are set around these screens that are set around the store to order. So there's no wait time to order, say, 8 shakes for a whole family, while you're still making shakes for everyone else in the store and in the drive-through. and they end
What
up
you're
having
saying
to
is the
wait.
throughput of orders is faster.
Yes, more than twice as much, and people are complaining that they're waiting more than 30 minutes for their shake when I'm just one person.
Hey, welcome to food service, man.
Yes, indeed.
There's only 4 of us in the store.
Oh, man. Well, I don't miss those days, but I feel bad for you, bud. It's not fun work.
I'm going in there at the height of order time, which is like in the evening dinner time, and I'm probably going to come in there with the one on the previous shift going crazy and carrying like 8 shakes with half the floor covered in melted ice cream.
That sounds good.
So that's what's going to happen after I leave this session.
Ice cream skating.
Just get some non-skid shoes and you'll be all right.
Come with me,
I
and
don't know
you'll
if those
be
work.
in a world of OSHA violations.
Togo, how was your month?
It's been good. It's been exciting. It's been fun. There's been drama. There's been so much. But overall, it's been enjoyable. But I've missed D&D.
This is your only game for the week now, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, damn. So for you
I
just didn't
know.
do anything.
I know.
All right, well, hopefully tonight's session makes up for it. Modar, how about you?
It's been a busy month. Managed to get out, do some fishing, had a good time there. Been a lot of work. Work's been crazy busy, and trying to get caught up and ready to go for the summer. Had a couple of construction jobs and things like that. So it's been nuts. And then the storm this last week. Not sure what was going to happen there. At the end of the day, it was all good.
Yeah, I know we were a little unsure, kind of playing it by ear here and there, but I'm glad it kind of skirted by everyone over on that side. After I saw it was well south of Cuba, I was like, oh, we're gonna be okay over here.
Yeah, no, it was
No
good.
worries.
It died down before it hit Cuba, and then it hit Cuba, and that killed it down a little bit more. So
Which is
that's
even
having
better.
having those islands between us and all of that's always it's a good thing. It kind of sucks for them, but one of those things.
That's true. But I know, like I said, that we've had just about a month off, so see how good you guys can nail the recap. But whatever is missing, I will fill in. Give little, I guess, hints here and there if needed. But whichever you would like to take the floor for it, please feel free.
But I guess where did the session begin last time is what I'm trying to remember. Was it when we got off the boat and did the session before end after the fight with the griffins and the
Chimera.
I think
Yeah.
the last session was right after the fights when we did the recovery underwater, pulled up the bodies, recovered the parts that we could off of the bodies, and then we came to shore, did the rest, and then got here.
Okay, I think that's right. So I guess we started off trying to recover the leather from the chimera, and I guess did we get eyes and teeth as well? I think.
There was a number of items. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head what we got.
Eyes, teeth, dragon scales, and different types of leather from a ram and lion.
Yes.
Less of the ram because Sanashi bashed the head in, but yes, Modar was right. A little bit of a variety of items from it.
And then we approached and we talked with our ship captain in Sanzor, who was about what their plan for leaving was, and they said that they would leave if they don't hear from us in 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else did we do? So they pulled up and we were inside that, was it the blue stretch of like holy light or whatever that stretches across the ocean that said that you're safe if you sail within it. We were sailing in that until we came up upon the island. We got off the island and kind of scouted around and progressed in on the island, and for maybe a day? I know we slept at least once. We had one short rest, and then
There was a long rest too, because there was a layman's.
Oh, we had the long rest before we got on the ship.
I'm sorry, traditional long rest.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's a short rest. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
You actually confused me there for a moment, Lusk. I was like, wait, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm working on different rule set. So I remember we did scout out this island a little bit. There was we determined that it's mostly jungle. Hid the boat on the shore, pulled up the boat, disguised it a bit on the northern shore, but we discussed that the escape boat would be more to the northeast, if I recall. And then we started journeying towards the center of the island. Again, doing some more scouting all the while. It was dark as dicks.
But there was no sound at first.
Yes, like no animals, where we definitely expected there to be. The only thing we could really hear was our own footsteps, and we couldn't see Jack. Eventually, we made it to what is it, like this large blue or purple veil orb in the middle. I recall that there were like no trees around for like 100 feet. And in the middle of it was a bunch of shadows that congregated into a dragon. And Zanashi went apeshit and just threw herself straight at it. So naturally, we followed Zanashi. And we're hoping that we won't die, but we're going to find out.
I'm thinking the description that Kyle gave was that the shadows of beasts and animals seems to form up the body of a dragon tearing itself out of the orb. I think is what he said.
I could have sworn the shadows got pulled, like, from the forest.
Yeah, so, like, they're being pulled into the ground, up into the orb, and then, like, from the shadows, the body of the dragon was, like, coming out of the orb.
I was a bit confused,
That's a bit close, yeah.
That sounds more right than anything I remember. I just remember Shadow Dragon.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add to it? That was pretty good, and I mean, for the most part, that pretty much nailed it.
I didn't even look at my notes.
My notes aren't separated by sessions, so the only thing left I see is that we learned that the celestial veil didn't used to be in the island. It used to be like a column that stretched into the clouds.
Also, in terms of notes, I don't have any, but shout out to Modar, who used his amphibious nature to help dredge the Chimera out, so that someday maybe I can make armor if I don't die.
And then Modar tried to do a message to the dragon, and it looked back with eyes that were seeming intelligent, but he got no response.
Oh.
I believe that deserves not only the max experience, but I'll also multiply it by a few. I'll multiply it by every week that we didn't play.
That's very kind, assuming we survive.
Guys, just think, the total amount of experience split between only the one or two of us that survive, that'll be great.
Oh man, that'll be a level all its own, you're right.
Lusk, this will be great.
So levels to plenty.
We should have waited till next week.
I can't wait to hit level 8 when I carry off Kavo alone from this fight. I said that if I was going to save anyone, it's going to be you.
Well, we'll get into our story with this. Continuing on May 8th, year 1101, as each of you trudged through a rough environment of thick trees and mud, eventually each of you had made your way to the outer tree line, or the inner tree line, and saw a very large black and purple scaled dragon. This black and purple scaled dragon, the upper half made up of the black and purple scales, and the lower appearing to look as if a shadow-like black mist of a lower part of the body. These shadow-like creatures that have emerged from the tree lines in the ground have begun to slowly merge with the purple-hued orb one by one, as each of the sounds of the creature grew louder and louder, eventually stopping as the last one connected. The large dragon flew up, then landed down. Zanashi has closed the gap to this creature, getting roughly 25 foot away, and began looking over the dragon to see if there was any sign of evil intent. Modar called out in Draconic, "What are you doing here?" And while the others have caught up with Zanashi, they're using their foot in quick travel, Lusk using his wings. But as the sounds of the shadow-like creatures vanish, this black and purple scaled dragon looks over each of you. You see the large purple orb beginning to slowly fade.
So like, how fast is the orb fading?
It's just a little bit at a time. It doesn't seem to be very noticeable till about 15-20 seconds pass, and then you can tell just a bit.
Okay. And how big is the orb again? Is it 100 feet across? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, it was quite large.
And compared to the orb, how big is the dragon?
You're gonna have to take Alencia's character back from off of my thing.
It should still be on New Year's as well.
Oh, okay.
What?
Ah.
Looks like a big egg, man.
Since you are coming from the west, be on that side. What? Does it look like an egg?
It looks like an egg.
Cool ass egg.
Excellent egg, my lord.
You ever see the movie Aragon?
No, I have not.
That's what the dragon egg looked like. But more blue. Less purple.
Okay, so who are we missing? Togo.
And Modar?
Modar
Togo's-
over in the corner.
Oh, I see.
Togo's outrunning me.
I guess I'd probably be farther back, wouldn't I?
Zanashi ran ahead, and I think I was the only one that was able to catch up to her. So everyone else is kind of lagging behind.
Yeah, I think
Assuming
you're
we're still running.
you're the only one that can keep up with her, I believe.
Yeah, you were...
Modar is
Somewhere like
swamp assing
that.
in that forest.
If I remember right, I did ask last session if the dragon was looking hostile as I was approaching it, because that was going to determine whether I actually went ahead and attacked or not. You know, basically, I wanted to know whether I needed to go into my rage or not.
Yes, and for the last thing that we had done was roll for the insight, which is when you each had gotten the information that Togo had relayed. Excuse me. Of it seeming intelligent through its eyes, but did not respond to any of the call outs, or, well, seeming to give any, I guess, care of what you were doing. But from your insight check, I will say that you are unable to tell. The scales of the creature being black purely along the face, it gives it almost a blank look of emotion.
So is it like staring at me?
More so looking towards Modar.
So if I start moving, say like that, does it follow me at all, or just continue to stare at Modar?
Give me a perception check. While the head still points in the same direction, you see one of the eyes tracking your movement before it snaps back, looking towards Modar. The head wiggles back and forth.
Okay. Going to continue walking this way.
Unsure where she's going, kind of just follows her.
The egg just burst.
As stating, slowly fading till disappearing.
I will look at the dragon and repeat, why are you here and what do you want? In Draconic.
I step forward and give a very polite yet little bow, and with a flutter of my hand use message and say, "Hello, O Great One. It is an honor to meet you." To the dragon.
Modar, asking it yet again in Draconic, you don't see its jaws move, but a voice appears in your head. Everything, nothing. To protect, to die.
Is that off Metallica?
Almost. He had changed a few words so it wasn't copyright.
You are here to die, or you are here to kill everything? Repeat in Draconic to it message.
Dragon surveys the field. Head turns, meeting eyes with each of you, but no response.
Why?
What are you telling it, Modar? I yelled at Yo, or not Modar. Yeah, Modar. What the hell are you yelling to it?
I'm trying to communicate. It's not. I can't
Perhaps
tell.
if you got closer, you're pretty far away, man.
I can hear it perfectly fine. It can hear me.
Are you scared?
I will look at Zanashi and send a message to her and say, we should all be at least a little scared right now. And then, trust me, I can hear it perfectly fine, and it can hear me without yelling.
But if this creature is evil, as I believe it is, it starts to move forward.
Yeah, it'll take a step forward.
Wait until it does something.
As soon as it takes a step forward, I'm fucking raging and I'm charging.
God.
Does anybody... I heard a bunch of ums, but I didn't hear anything else. Just saying.
One sec.
Alencia just assumes that there's no stopping her no matter what she says.
I mean, at this point, look at reason. If it's going to kill us, which it probably wants to kill us, I would rather have first fucking move.
Alencia's morals speak otherwise.
And Togo and Modarby and where the hell over there ain't going to stop this motherfucker from getting to him like in literally half a round.
Oh, no, I'm well aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully I can roll good fucking
Alright,
initiative.
well, rest in pepperonis, everyone. I hope you have another character ready.
Not very good on the initiative.
Kyle, if you could go ahead and kickstart the dirge music, which will be escorting us to our graves. Thank you very much.
There's a reason that I've been jokingly referring to this as the TPK session to one of my friends.
I'm hoping that I'm kidding. I don't know what this is, but
hey, you only live once.
I mean, in D&D, actually, that you know what? Never mind. The only person who says YOLO is the team without a cleric, and we don't have one. So yeah, no, you're right.
We'll be all right.
Unless we aren't.
Unless we aren't.
Kyle, what he said to me, do I recognize that from anything I've ever read? Does it trigger anything?
Did he say anything to you?
You can give me a history check. At advantage.
The only thing I wanted to do was, do I have an idea of where this egg could be fading to? Is this anything I would have heard of, if not now, then hundreds or thousands of years ago?
Unfortunately not. And Modar, the words, seem to replicate not something more of like a traditional student, if you will, but some of the books you have read on religion. This being a quote from devils and those of another plane of existence.
Fuck.
So it seems to be the mantra of some devilish religion.
Correct.
Well, at least we're going out for the right reasons.
Damn right.
I believe, and with that, I will send Zanashi. I believe it's from one of the devil planes.
I yell back, out loud, "What's a plane?"
Well,
It's
you
a
see, it has
flat, open space of land with no trees and mostly grass.
or it is a large metal bird with wings. It really is one or the other.
Okay, well, this is what I'm going to do because this is how it has to play out. While you all have rolled initiative and everything's good, I'm going to allow one turn. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with Zanashi since she said that she was charging forward going into a rage. So, Zanashi, lead us off.
Zanashi gets a surprise round.
Well, what I'm going to do is, from the statements of what was said, each of you seem to be kind of like standing in like maybe a bit of disbelief with Zanashi running forward. One would even almost say not surprised in any of the means, but Zanashi was the only one who had made an intent of doing anything.
How tall is this thing? Like, how tall is it to like its back? Is it wings up or wings down?
The wings are like spread out, but the tail and the lower part of the back seem to be made of the black mist shadow-like material. So its back, where you see its black and purple scales, sits about 20 foot off the ground and goes up about another 20 to 30 foot, like to the top of its head.
Okay. Fuck it. Raging, and I'm charging, and I am going to try my best to injure this thing.
Well, it's a good way to start it.
Yeah, but not on the roll. Fucking 1 on one die and max on the other.
Do you re-roll ones on?
Oh, wait. You might be right. Let me look at that. And actually, I think I do get an extra thing here. I may not
You should
get
be
the reroll.
able. If you do have great weapon, what is it? Great weapon master or whatever it is. You do get to reroll 1s and 2s.
I don't think that's Great Weapon Master. That's Great Weapon Fighting.
That's it. And never mind. That's only on fighters and and paladins.
I do, when I score a critical hit, I get to roll one of the dice an additional time and add it to the extra damage.
Yeah, you get one more die, I think.
Well, he's got 3d12 out there right now. I think it added it for you.
Did it?
The top one is a 9 plus the 5, which is your normal roll. The d12 was a 1, and then you have another d12 that was your max. And then the 2 from your rage.
Okay, so I guess it is doing it automatically.
Which is cool that it is, just unfortunately.
Well, but it's only showing 1 slashing over there, plus the 12 slashing. Where's the total at?
The 14, if you hover over it.
Yeah, it should be 9 plus 5 over there would be 14, right?
Yeah, the 9 plus 5, and then you add the 1 from your crit. And then because of your additional thing, the other crit was another d12 on the right side. So if you add it all together, that's, what is that, 29?
27?
Yeah, 29.
29.
Plus 2 because of your rage.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yep.
Like I said, unfortunately, you can't re-roll the 1 unless you have that feat. But I think we thought that last time, but you don't have it. We were thinking of Mogan.
Yeah. But that's all right. I get 2 attacks.
Correct.
Damn. I had to turn that crit switch off, didn't I?
Unfortunately, that's a miss.
I kind of figured that, man. Figure he's probably rocking an 18, 19, or even a 20 armor class. Maybe even more. And with that, I will end my turn.
So, with that, We'll start at the top of the turn order as each of you hear a voice inside your head. Fate sealed. Soul's mine. Shadow forever. Held and divine.
You won't have my soul, you filthy beast. Cut your ass down.
Valencia, what do you do?
Valencia briefly considers at some point sending Zanashi to like some sort of shrink to maybe deal with some of her death wish issues. But for now, she doesn't quite want to risk her life just yet and will stay at a distance, making sure that everyone is within range of her in case they need her. And will fire a poison crossbow bolt at him.
Christ.
Dang, what's up with the nat 20s coming out? We need that shit.
Huh?
Well, 2 nat 20s and 3 rolls. Let's keep up that percentage.
I
That's pretty
I don't
fucking
like how
good.
he says that.
Kyle, can you make sure Roll20 has the crit switch on when I roll? That would be really nice.
Yeah, the crit fail switch. Gotcha.
Yeah, no.
And saving throw. Double checking con save. It's an 18.
I fucking bet it is. No sarcasm there.
If
I don't know how-
successful, it would have made it have disadvantage on its attacks.
I don't know how long it's been since the fight with the demons, but would that be enough time to get to recharge the charges on the staff?
We had a long rest between then.
Between the fights with the demons, yes.
Okay, then I need to roll charges.
I think it's safe to say that it's full. Doesn't it? Oh no, yours recharges it in the long rest. Never mind. Reviewing my magic item sheet.
Oof.
Hey, that's a low roll.
Hey, got the 1 out on the recharge. Maybe worth.
Yeah, it brings me to 7. And I have a bonus action. I think I'm good.
That's it?
Yeah.
Togo, it's your turn. But before you do, the dragon will let out a roar. And as it does, the purplish orb will flash back into existence, then out, back in, and out, repeatedly, faster and faster, till a bright white light begins to emit from the center, and then it shatters. An orb goes off to the south, landing roughly here, another landing roughly here, and another there. Then the 3 orbs disappear.
Could you ping those places again? My map was not zoomed out far enough to see those.
Then,
Okay.
an orb to the northwest appears. Togo, it's your turn.
I'm gonna move. So I guess 25 feet from there. No. I'm gonna move up to there. So just below Lusk, and then I'm going to. I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire in the area around the dragon.
Got it. Ooh. That's a fail. A 15 on the save.
Oh!
What'd you
Thank God.
cast? Fairy Fire?
Fairy Fire. Advantage on all attacks from now on, which I
Nice.
guess you already get them, but everyone else gets them too.
I didn't have advantage on my attacks, but now I do. Thank you.
Oh, well,
He just had 2 attacks.
that's it.
It means she doesn't have to be so reckless.
Yep.
True.
This is true.
And then as a bonus action, I will yell, Carve its scales off, Sanashi, and use a Bardic Inspiration die. Give Sanashi 1d8. And then that will be my turn.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh. The dragon will extend its wings, and you can see the bits of light get caught in this black and purple scaled, leathery skin on the inside of its wing. It redirects it to the scales, and it begins to shine. Bit by bit, the scales light up in a bit of a glimmer. Then, it expands its wings, and a flash of light extends from the creature. Can each of you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh, yeah. I am freaking good at those.
Ooh.
Told you.
It's gonna suck when we all fail except Modar.
I'm thinking about using that fucking inspiration die.
If you're gonna use it,
I know. I'm like, man, shit. I'm gonna take the chance, but I have a feeling this is a fucking 19 for a damn save.
Indeed, you're right. Lusk, Togo, Lincia, Zanashi. Modar, do you have an advantage on it? I think you do.
I do. I have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma
So
saves.
you are the only one that succeeds, and the rest of you become frightened.
Okay. Just can't move closer to it.
And then,
Can I be frightened though as a fucking rage?
Yeah, I think you might be immune to fear while enraged.
I'm gonna look it
I
up.
think
but-
that's actually true. I think you can't be frightened or charmed. Or maybe it's an or.
You can definitely be charmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe it is just frightened then.
I'm looking it up. I'm not seeing it, but I'll continue to look it up until it gets my turn.
I
Well,
don't see it.
Zanashi, with you striking, and being the only one that's landed a pretty devastating blow to the dragon, it will make its attacks towards you. So the first one is a 19 to hit.
I've got a 30 armor class.
Well, that's fine. The second one's a 32.
It hits me both times.
Oh my fuck. The second one's a natural 20, or the bite attack's a natural 20. So 3 hits. So that'll be 31 points of slashing damage from the claws. Halved is 15 from your rage. And then the bite will be 32 points of 31 points of piercing damage. And then also 21 points of poison or acid damage. So
Is that all you got?
thankfully you negated quite a bit of the damage there from the rage. But with the claws sinking in twice, battering you to the right and then back to the left, you find yourself a bit staggered as it bites down into you. You're able to just muster up enough strength to push its jaws away. The teeth sinking in. You're still alive.
Can I tell if this is a
Casually, my
male or
entire health.
female dragon? Like, has it got some big balls or something hanging down
You
below?
don't see any. Your assumptions lead to this being a female.
I was gonna chop them motherfuckers off.
Chop that misty, shadowy bottom half of that dragon up.
Lusk, you are frightened.
Well, I am going to, with Sanzer's short sword in one hand, I'll draw a dagger with the other, and flying in a sidling motion, and with a flourishing spin as I fly by, I toss the dagger at the dragon. I believe it's at disadvantage for range, but I have advantage. Thanks to
But you're
But you're frightened,
Disadvantage.
so you'll be at
Yeah.
disadvantage from that.
right. It comes out to flat is where I was getting with that.
From the... If you're out of range, then it'll be canceled from the fairy fire, but then from the disadvantage from frightened. So if you're in range, it's normal.
I'm in long range. You can't have double disadvantage. If there's any disadvantage and any advantage, regardless of how many instances there are, it's a straight roll normally.
Yeah, they just offset. They don't stack. They just offset.
Well, learn something new. I figured
Yeah.
because if you had more of the disadvantage than just advantage. That's kind of silly.
You
Yeah,
can
no,
also
there's-
close his eyes and still have a straight roll.
Yeah, that makes little sense,
It-
but
it-
okay.
I don't
Well,
agree
it's the
with
same way. Like, yeah, no, the same way. Like your AC can't stack. You can only have one AC modifier. You can't like stack them. They to simplify everything. They pretty much said you can't
Yeah,
stack anything.
that makes more sense though. But anyways, go ahead. Fortunately, 13's a miss.
All right, I am going to dip back into the forest and hide behind a tree.
Got a bit of ways to go before you get back to the forest.
Oh, is this grass not forest trees?
No.
Okay.
There was over 100-foot clearing before everyone closed the gaps from the tree line.
Got it. All right. In that case, never mind. Then I'll just stay. I'll stay there and end my turn.
Is it a
The
fear? Is it just fear until, like, just there's no
Until you pass. So, Lusk,
Okay.
wisdom saving throw, please.
Thank you. Oh, fuck.
Fortunately, still a fail. Still bring us to Zanashi, though.
I am trying to find this. I mean, from what I can tell, wait a minute. It may be a specific type of barbarian that gets that. I don't think it's
Path of the Berserker
my.
Barbarian gains Mindless Rage at 6th level.
Yeah, so that's not me. Because I was just like, I can't find it on mine. Well, it would seem like it'd be on the sheet if it was, part of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I look too. It's not a standard barbarian ability.
Yeah. But I can still attack. I just can't move closer. Fortunately, I'm already close enough to hit. I can't run because I'm fucking going down if I run.
I hope you enjoyed your decisions thus far.
Okay, fuck it. I'm mounting this fucking dragon.
Can you?
Why can't I?
Because of your crippling fear?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that kind of is getting closer.
I guess
to
that would
it.
be getting closer to it because you'd be getting on top of it.
Yeah, technically, I think you'd be closing the gap from like 5 feet to 0.
Yeah. All right, then I'll just attack him.
You know, in those nature shows where they say whenever you get attacked by a bear, you should climb on its back and ride it.
For sure, they say you should punch it in the face.
I was gonna say, was that show you were watching in Russian?
I think they also mentioned to push their friends into the bear and then run away.
Definitely Russian.
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately, that's a miss.
21 misses?
Not answering that, but you have disadvantage and then the advantage. So, from what was stated earlier, it would be just your normal roll. I'm guessing whether or not if you reckless or because of the amount of advantage wouldn't matter against the one disadvantage if it works the same way, which I'm guessing it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, the fairy fire and that offset each other.
I was gonna say that before it did the roar, I'm like, wow, this will be the only time where fairy fire won't be that helpful or that life changing. Oh wait, never mind.
All right, fuck you, Mr. Dragon.
Cleo's keeping up that average percentage. And with this blow, you'll see bits of the shadowy bottom dissipate a bit, and as it flies away from the mass of the dragon, it begins to be pulled towards the purple orb towards the northwest, till it circles around and then is pulled back in.
And with that, I am just going to move around further behind it. Flanking behind him. So if he wants to bite me, he needs to turn his ass around at least anyway. And I'll end my turn, right? I don't think I got any freaking potions.
You should.
I've been a dumbass. I think I do got one.
Yep.
I got one. It is a bonus action, right?
Bonus action or free actions, depending on where you have it. You pretty much run around naked, in comparison to the others, for sure. So I'm imagining yours being very quick and easy accessible.
All right, so I roll for 7. Better than nothing.
Okay. Before the end of your turn, Zanashi, can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please? As the dragon bats its wings once and twice.
Okay, is this going to be an effect, or is he actually doing some kind of legendary action?
It's an action. I guess technically there is an effect, and you can see it happening, so you can have advantage on this. Nineteen's a good roll, but unfortunately, it's not high enough.
Well, you're saying it a little quick, man. You ain't giving me a chance. I had to flip tab to tab. I'll get back over here. You're saying it right as I'm seeing my 19. I think I might have to burn inspiration on this.
Sure.
It's a
Okay.
27 to save.
I don't think you should.
What's my 1d8?
If
Is that
it's bardic
inspiration?
inspiration, yes.
Okay, so 22 overall.
If you're meaning the inspiration that is marked on your character sheet, then
Yeah, that's a reroll.
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not trying to reroll that.
What's that? A 22?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Still a fail, bud.
Well, fuck you, Mr. Dragon.
So you will take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as the wings, the force batters into you. You're knocked prone. And then begins to move away. The 11 points is not halved, and since it is bludgeoning damage, I believe you only take 5.
Okay, so I've got it down to 27 now. You say he begins to move away?
Correct.
Okay, as he moves out of my range, I'm definitely taking an attack of opportunity. Well, I can take an attack of opportunity from the ground.
Yeah.
Disadvantage, but hey.
No,
With
doesn't,
advantage from Fairy Fire,
it doesn't
cancels out,
matter.
so it doesn't matter.
Because everything just gets canceled out right now.
Does it though? Because now I should have two
It doesn't. Like it
that's what
doesn't.
I
I
thought,
don't
but
think
I
Blue's
doesn't
been paying
matter.
attention to what we've been saying.
I guess I haven't. I've been trying to research other shit, to make sure.
I feel like Clue
So,
just got
what-
another thing of Reese's Pieces or something.
It's things like that which are
Oh,
why
dude,
we're in
I've
the
got
middle
a
of fighting
big
the
ass
dragon.
bag. I got a fucking 2-pound bag, 2.7 pound bag.
In the case of advantage and disadvantage, it's always going to be a normal roll, no matter how much on either side.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll take one swing at it.
Another nat 20.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was
And,
just
Not
rooting
to the
him
bottom
on.
yet.
I am going to. I feel like I'm going to need to. I mean, did I even get a chance at the end of my turn? Oh, it's just still my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done movement because I could have fucking stood up anyway.
It would still be a straight roll because of the fear.
Yeah. All right. So, do I want to use my inspiration and try to re-roll that 18? That's 18. So basically, I rolled a fucking 10 and got that 18. So yeah, I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
There we go.
That'll hit.
That's what I'm talking about.
16 points.
Remember me.
Have you had a turn yet?
And I will stand up. And I guess that's gonna be the end of my turn. Do I have to make a saving throw again?
Yes.
Can he even pass?
Yes. See?
There we go.
All right.
So does that save?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So next round, I'll be able to charge that Joker again before he chomps down on Togo.
All right. Modar, your turn.
All right. As an action, I am going to cast Mage Armor. And then I'm going.
Did we skip Modar
To-
last turn?
No, I'm at the end of the list. I'm at 6.
This
So
is
now
the
she had
first
2
round.
turns.
20.
First official round.
And I'm going to move in this
He
direction.
had one round with Zanashi at the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
And that's all I can do for this round.
You said that's it, Modar?
That's all. Yeah, that's I've got one spell in my movement, and that's it.
All right. So as the dragon moves towards before the end of Modar's turn, it will, now that it's in between the three of you, will turn a bit, swinging its tail towards Valencia. It is a 30 to hit.
Hold on, let me check.
For 14 points of damage.
Ow.
The tail batters into you, and as you kind of tumble, more so stumble off to the side, still catching your balance, you've taken quite a bit of the bludgeoning damage into your side. Bruising already begun. But it does bring us to round 2. Valencia.
She's holding her side. Her legs are shaking. Her martial arts training didn't prepare her for a giant shadow dragon. And as she looks around in a panic, she sees a gravely injured Zanashi. And decides that it would be a great excuse to get away from the dragon.
You know you're in melee range of it, right? It's attack range.
Zanashi, you almost went down so fast. And she'll put her
I provoke an
hands
attack
on
of
her.
opportunity. I was double checking the distance, but because exiting it, of course, provokes that.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oof.
Once you get within 10 foot or so of them, 15
I
foot or
think
so,
This
you're
may
in
pay
range.
off for you though, Valencia. It is an 18 to hit.
Isn't Alencia's AC 17?
I think so. And there's a lot of ACs to try to remember, but I think it
Did you
is
say
17.
it was 18?
Yes, 18.
I'm gonna use a cutting words. And as it attacks, just go, ah! As my reaction.
Watch out for that tree.
Okay.
Watch out for that.
Ah, tree.
Let me. George. And where is
Da-da-da-da-pa.
You've only got to roll, better than a 1.
I
and
know,
think
a 1.
I think you're good.
I think so. Where is the feet? Okay, it's up there.
Not even Brendan Fraser can save us now. He fought the mummy.
I'm just gonna roll 1d8.
Valencia, go kill that glowy egg.
Bird.
Are you sure? I thought the shadows are retreating back into it.
get his power from it. Fucking hope I'm right. It could be fucking for nothing. It might actually keep it here.
Valencia is torn because she wants to be near everybody in case they go down. But for now, she'll full action heal you. And,
Thank you.
Please, we need you. Don't be rash. And she'll look at the portal and will bonus action dash to it.
Okay, is that it?
Yep.
Begin to break towards the portal.
Wait, it's a portal, not an egg?
We're not going to go over this again.
You said that as Zanashi was doing damage to this thing, the shadows were breaking off and going back into the portal, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If there's an opportunity, I would like to check the portal in some way.
There's been previous checks for it, but if you'd like to make another one, you can spend your turn for it. Use an action.
No.
I thought it was a fucking egg, man, or orb.
A portal in the shape of an orb.
Togo, it's your turn, bud.
Right. So I can't move closer to it, right?
Alencia, can you make the wisdom save throw, please? Thanks for the reminder there, Togo.
What 20?
That's still a fail.
That means I can't get back to you guys.
It's a 18 on the
Terrible.
save.
DC 16.
18
So it takes
on
9.
Well, you rolled nat 20s with that bow.
Even though it doesn't have its full effect, Togo, knowing that it kind of shake it off, it'll like give you a bit of a smile, baring its fangs at you. But you do see little bits of the black mist, these shadows, begin to move back towards the purplish orb. I think it's pretty safe from it pulling itself out that it's a portal.
I'm going to use my inspiration on that save.
Sorry,
All right,
bud.
carry on.
And then I'll look at Lusk and say, just don't die, right? Yeah, good plan. And that's inspiring, isn't it?
A wonderful plan.
I don't know, Motor, is that inspiring?
Say yes, and both of you take the die. But yeah, I'll give Lusk a Bardic Inspiration die, and that will be my turn.
Okay. It'll take a step over here, and as it does, Togo, you can begin to see its scales flickering, almost puffing up a bit, starting from its belly, going all the way up to its head. It looks to you, Modar, before turning, looking towards Lusk and Valencia. Can Lusk and Valencia give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Alessia's way up there.
Yes. As it begins to bellow out this black mist, this shadow-like essence begins to creep over. It extends all the way out, wrapping around Lusk and Valencia before tightening. You feel it hard to breathe as it just pulls the breath out of you. Lusk, you feel it getting tighter and tighter. Just before it breaks, you fall free. However, Valencia, you hear your bones crack as the grass gets tighter and tighter. Valencia, you will take 77 points of damage.
Ah!
Lusk, I believe that puts you at, what, 33 points of damage?
No, 35.
Oh, 35 is 70.
Hey.
No, it's 35 plus
Plus
half
another
of 7.
3.
Yeah,
Reminder:
so 38.
if the damage goes above your current twice the amount of your current HP or your max HP.
Max.
Okay. Oof.
I think it has to, like, reach your max or something, and, like, the negatives to be outright dead.
Your current max. Oh god.
So, 77 to Valencia, who falls unconscious, and 38 to you, Lusk.
Yeah.
But as you hear Valencia let out a bit of a yell, the black mist fades. You're able to move yet again. But as you look over your shoulder, you see that Valencia is unconscious.
You have no idea how much I wish you were a fire dragon. Raising Sanser's short sword into the air, it begins to glow with the power of lightning. And I'm gonna draw down and try to drag the blade across the creature's neck. Booming blade. Also, I don't know the stats or effects of Sanser's short sword, so should I just roll a normal short sword and then you tell me, or you make additions, or?
Well, if there are any, I'll let you know.
Okay. In that case, I'm just gonna roll.
Unfortunately, that's
I would
a
like
miss.
to add.
I mean, I don't even have to say that. You already know that, so.
I know. I would like to add the D8.
Come on, big roll, man.
Give me potato
Don't
salad.
you do.
Oh.
Can't ruin it for the other game. Remember what happened last time?
I do, but did I make it though?
No,
Really?
you need a 5.
Well, I was hoping that this was that this was like a +1 or a +2 sword. Are you telling me it's nothing?
Oh.
It's nothing, man.
Oh my god.
It's a family sword.
It's just the family sword, man.
I'm literally walking around with 10 gold worth of equipment.
It's
fuck
more
me.
of a sentimental value.
Well, fuck me.
Are you telling me this isn't the sword of Dragon's Bane?
Can I make a? I would offhand draw my other short sword and make an offhand attack. Although this one does not get to add the dexterity to damage. Alright, well. Does a 26 hit?
Yes, the 26 does hit.
Alright, my simple orcish short sword has not failed me. Are you ready for 4d6s of damage? 14 on 3 attacks. More than you bargained for.
And as you make the connection with this short sword attack, can each of you, besides Alencia, who will automatically fail it, give me a dexterity saving throw as the ground begins to shake. The black and purple scaled creature begins to slowly emit from the black and purple scales the black mist and is pulled towards the black and purple orb.
Did you say that you have to be on the ground for this, or?
No, I did not, but yes, you do have to be on the ground.
Okay, so I don't need to make one then?
No, you should be fine.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go over here.
Okay. During the end of your turn, it will continue to evaporate, and slowly the form of the black and purple scaled dragon becomes all of that of the shadow-like mist, and just begins to be quicker and quicker pulled into the purple portal. And as it disappears, each of you feel the ground shaking and eventually the ground falling from underneath the surrounding area.
Lol, what?
Well, it all catches on fire.
The ground falls and lava appears. And as it does, I'm going to make sure I have the right one. Let's see. Okay. And as it does, you just each feel the heat begin to rise. Alencia on the other side.
Can I make my wisdom save?
No need. Each of you feel the frightful presence to be gone.
You said that I failed to save. Does that mean I take a fail death?
No. You didn't fall in. Les, that was the end of your turn, correct?
Yep.
That'll bring us to Zanashi.
Gotta figure out how far I can jump.
I believe it's for running long jumps. It's a number of feet equal to your strength score, and then if you want to try for anything further, you need to do an athletics check normally. I had to look this up for my Icewind Dale game recently.
I've got 18 feet that I can jump, and that looks to be more than 18 feet. Would that be correct?
It's roughly 15 to 20 foot from a quick assumption. To be more precise, the little bits that are like hazy, that give like that kind of like hue, that's more for lighting from the token than anything else. That space, like for an example, like that reaches out like half over into that square, that would be an unoccupied, and the same thing with this one. So if you do have a question from the hue, I know it's a little off, but it's not as wide as it makes it look.
Okay, I'm going to run and
Yeah, it's about
jump.
15 foot.
My long jump distance is 18 feet. I guess, is it difficult terrain on the other side?
No, but when you make it to the other side, can you give me, well, I mean, I think your passive's actually high enough for it. As you make it to the other side, taking a look around, it seems that the ground is fairly solid. It is cracking slowly. As you look towards the edges, you see just the bits of the surface falling down into the lava below. Like,
I'm going to grab Alencia once I get over here, and move back from the edge to where the portal's at, basically, just without actually entering the portal. But Alencia is on my shoulder now.
yes,
carrying
of course,
Alencia
with
on my
carrying
shoulder.
her, that will be double movement. Or like a difficult terrain kind of thing.
Okay, well, I could have made it to there because I have 55 foot of movement because I was still raging on this round, but I will be ending my rage officially once my turn's over because I haven't attacked or been attacked or taken any damage.
You can punch Alencia.
I actually wouldn't recommend.
Actually,
Could,
I'm actually
but-
feeling kind of bad that I actually suggested it because Sanashi might.
No,
You-
I'm not going to, but I'll end my rage
All right.
I mean,
naturally.
Alencia can use healing hands. Maybe Zanashi too. I'm kidding, of course.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I can do at this point. And I guess we'll see what anybody else is going to do.
Sanashi's masseuse hands will revive me.
All right, Modar, brings us to you, bud.
I am gonna look around. I saw the dragon essentially got sucked into the portal or sucked into the ground.
Into the portal, orb, egg, whatever you'd wish to call it.
All right. And I really don't have anything. Do I think I am going to actually I can move 20 feet of movement, 20. All right, so I got 30 feet of movement. So I can move up here. To there, and then I am going to cast Mage Hand. Hold on, fuck it.
Thinking. I hear those
Sorry.
cogwheels turning.
So I just
I think he just realized that Mage Hand wasn't going to reach.
yeah, no, it's not gonna go. Yeah, I think it's only 30 feet.
This is the wall of fire, or is this the?
Grounds give out below it.
The floor
Ground give out
is
below.
lava, Togo.
Floor is lava.
It's like, as far as a flat line or plane from the ground across to the other side, there's nothing obstructing it except there's a hole that's got lava in it.
It's
Yeah,
like,
so
imagine a moat of lava surrounding this area.
so it says that it can move
Hey.
30 feet, so I can't get it there this turn, but I'm casting Mage Hand, putting my potion of healing in that, and having it starting to move towards Zanashi. Like high above, like having it move, as quickly as possible to get it to Zanashi, so she can give it to Alencia.
I don't know if this changes anything about the course of events, but I accidentally double-clicked my Dissonant Whisper and only did 15 damage instead of 18, so the dragon only took 7. Not
As
9.
opposed to 9.
Yes. I didn't think it changed anything, but I have to be honest.
Nah, I'm not worried about it.
I didn't think you would be.
If it has like 0 HP left when it would have had 2, then you'll hear me bitch. But you know, other than that, don't worry about it. Just being like, son of a bitch, look at that.
Yeah, so that's I'm moving the healing potion towards Zanashi.
Good plan, good plan. And that's it, right?
Yep, that's it for me.
Alencia, death saving throw, please. It's a pass. Togo.
I'm gonna take my full dash and dash up to. And you said the glow is an extra. Like that should not be in the fire, right? Or
Correct.
is it
That's more
crumbling
of
beneath my
light.
feet?
No, it's just light.
Okay. And I'll shadow cross. Zanashi, move her close to the edge. Before you try and jump, let me do something first. I'll heal her and wake her up.
I was just gonna jump across with her on my shoulder.
I mean, you can do that. Or she's a strong, independent woman who would want to jump across on her own, potentially. Without... and wouldn't want to be dying.
We either both make it or we both die.
Wait, don't we have somebody that flies now?
I don't know. Give me an intelligence check.
The DC is 1.
As you look over, Luska's like flying, wings.
Oh, I don't know. Do we have someone that has wings and maybe flies, or perhaps is aerial in some nature?
No.
Yep, you're right. Leaves.
Anything else, Togo? Ooh, deep thought. Calculations going on and on.
Do you not have healing word?
Pretty
I
sure.
think that's 30 foot range, right?
60, if I recall.
Mm-hmm. Togo, anything else, bud?
That'll be it for my turn.
Lusk, it's your turn.
So there's a potion floating around in the air somewhere, right?
Yep, Mage Hand has it extended. As you see Modar just running. Mage Hand, they're about 30 foot ahead of him.
All right. Can I? I'm assuming that's like 30 feet ahead, like right around here or something.
Yeah, I was actually just about to ping right here. So, yeah, we had the same idea.
All right. Bonus action dash. 80 feet of movement. 45 to the potion. 25 feet to Alencia.
Doing
Action.
a
Pop
flag
the
pattern
potion.
to the inside post.
The inside post.
It's a route in football. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, sorry. I am football dumb. So yeah, and I pop the potion in Alencia's mouth.
Okay, whoever wants to roll it, the 2d4 plus 2, I believe, right? Yeah, max 10.
All right, in that case, here is 2d4s. 6 HP total. You weren't really thinking of jumping across with her on your shoulders, were you? It sounds like a death sentence. Even
That
for
sounds
you.
like a Zanashi idea.
When have I failed before?
Would you like me to answer that?
But did you die?
I mean, fair.
So, Lindsay, you do wake up and you're on my shoulder, by the way.
This is true. Lusk is at the end of your turn.
I float up 10 feet into the air.
All right. Lusk, can you give me a perception check at advantage? Alencia, yours it will be at disadvantage. Sanashi, yours is normal.
Nice.
I am not paying attention because I have Lindsay on my shoulder. My thought process is to jump.
Lusk, you'll note that the inside of this perimeter from this moat of lava, the little bits are trickling down and down. It's going from inches to feet quite quickly. It looks as if the gap is getting wider by the moment.
Oh boy. You may want to be quick about your next steps.
Okay, so how wide is the gap now?
About 16 to 17 foot. You should still be able to clear it.
Where's the dragon?
Lusk, can you carry Alencia?
I can.
I drop Alencia and I make a run to jump across.
Oh, I hit the ground.
All right.
I guess I could do an action and dash as well. So
Zanashi's not 10 foot tall. You don't have to worry about bludgeoning damage from dropping there. Alencia.
I thought it would be pretty funny if I rolled a 6 there and I just died again.
Drops her, knocks unconscious, hits head on rock. Zanashi, you make it, but you can feel the difference in how close the gap is getting, or how you were from clearing the gap as you were before, compared to as you were before. Anything else for your turn?
that's it.
All
Modar.
right, am I getting anything as far as I'm going to take a look at this portal again, see what's going on, see if I can figure out like what this might be.
Sure, you can give me another shot. An Arcana check. It seems to have some type of connection, bringing whatever this creature was here and also taking it back. You haven't seen anything like it or read anything, but that's kind of the gist of what you pick up.
All right. I don't know what this is. We may want to start getting away from this. I've never read or seen anything like this before. And I am starting to back up, pulling out a notebook and taking notes and starting to write things down and trying to document what's going on. With still kind of like backing up. As much as I am intrigued, I am smart enough to know that this is dangerous right now.
Lusk, with you being in the air, the ground collapses farther in. You can see it closing the gap as Alencia is just about 10 foot below you. We move to Alencia's turn. Alencia, you got a little bit of HP back in you. And now find yourself at the inside of a moat of lava.
How far is this gap now?
I will measure. About 24, 25 feet.
And how long is long distance jump?
Les, can you say it
Strength
again? Strength score, and then what was it? Half of the mod, or something like that.
No, it's just, for long distance running jump. It is your strength score
Just
in
strength.
feet.
Okay. I remember you saying that you looked it up. I just couldn't remember exactly what was said.
It's, a series of equations and whatever. It's not the best written part of the book, or it's not my favorite part of the book. We'll put it that way.
I can't make that even with Step of the Wind. I look to Lusk, who is writing something for some reason. And I stand back up.
Lusk isn't writing anything. That's Modar.
Oh, that was Modar taking notes? Oh, okay. Are you able to carry me?
You haven't put on any weight, have you? We'll be fine.
As soon as he says that, she glances towards the portal. Just for a second.
You should make her contemplate. Bless.
Are you like... are you ready to carry me?
I mean,
From
I have
Alex's point of
to.
view?
I have to come down first, but yeah.
Alright.
And just prepare yourself. Tie off a rope or something. So you or.
She jumps up towards you.
Oh, okay. I will catch her hands.
All right. Can each of you give me an athletics check, please?
Everybody, or just the two inside?
Just the two of them.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, is that the end of your turn, Alencia? You get a nice firm grasp onto Lusk. You have a nice firm grasp on Alencia. It's more so holding each other's forearms.
She says nothing. If you drop me in the lava, I will crawl back out and kill you.
Still no trust.
Togo?
Yes.
I think there's very much I can do. I mean, they're coming over. Is the part, like, it's crumbling? It's just the inside that's crumbling, not the outside, right?
Correct.
I was just gonna take like a step away and watch as they come back across, but there's not much I can do.
Okay, and Lusk, you just fly back across?
Not before talking some shit, but yeah. It's like, oh, think of what you'll have to say on your way home. At the monastery, I was saved by a demon? No way.
I haven't been saved yet.
You will have been saved.
Then get on with it already.
Going back across while you're talking shit, you can see the ground crumbling underneath you more and more. The safety of solid surface growing smaller as you make your way across. But with your
That
amount
is
of
a lot of
movement,
lava.
I feel that you have no issue making your way across, especially with both of you having a nice firm grasp on one another. And get back across to safety.
If 120 move speed can't do it, let me know.
I mean, it'll be close, but I'm pretty sure you got enough.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving to safety, I'll move you all out of turn order.
I want to call out and see if my familiar is close by.
It takes a couple of minutes, but soon enough, your familiar does fly out. You catch the glimpse of the owl as it makes its way towards you and perching up on your right shoulder.
I want to look at it and point to the portal and say, let's see where that goes. And I am going to go into a trance and send my familiar into the portal.
Rip familiar.
I mean, it probably goes back to its native plane of existence when it dies.
Yeah, if it dies, I just have to resummon it.
Unless you're sending it back to the plane it originally came from and then it dies, in which case it is permadead.
Well,
I highly doubt that this is the Feywild. That's
are you sure?
That seems likely, but you never know.
Are you sure?
very true. Am I sure? No, I'm relatively confident, but I'm not sure.
Does anybody else do anything? Or are you guys taking a moment to recoup?
I'm gonna head over to Alencia and cast at first level. Cure wounds.
After hearing Modar say that this dragon was devil related, and then probably knowing a bit of demonic lore myself, and devil lore, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, demons and devils, they hate each other. But looking hard at this portal, can I make a check to any lore or anything at all I might have on this?
I'll give you another Arcana check, but
I never got one, actually.
I think there were like investigations and a whole bunch of stuff, but as like a collective, I feel like there's been a good amount of rolls, but go for it.
There definitely have been a good amount of rolls. Normal roll, Arcana. Yeah.
Unfortunately, nothing extra, but the information that has been given out, you will know that.
Well, perhaps this is one bit we will have to be satisfied in not knowing. I do hope this portal wasn't our reason for being here.
No, we still have to look for the boat.
Oh, thank God, there's another reason for being on this hell-forbidden island. You know, I was concerned that we'd have to leave, Togo.
I was concerned we'd be bored, so I mean, you got me beat.
Bored. How dare you?
I know. I was thinking this island might be just a snooze fest. I'm glad there's just a little bit of entertainment here.
An island surrounded by chimeras and griffins. Definitely boring.
I mean, like, you just got some little playthings around the outside, but we didn't see a single thing coming in, and then we see this guy, like,
Valencia will put her hand on Lux and give merciful hands.
Thank you. It's not expected.
Don't mention it.
Well, unfortunately, I already did. Does this mean I can't pick on you as much?
Saving me did a lot, I'll admit.
It is funny. I'm a demon. I'm supposed to kill. But honestly, I haven't done too much killing. All I've really done so far is save 2 people, and that's it. I'm
That's
supposed to
kinda
be a killer.
Maybe you can dial that ego back a bit.
At least it's a change of pace.
Yes, you have went a long way in my eyes.
So, do we have any idea where this boat might possibly be, or are we pulling up shovels and digging somewhere?
On that note, I need to go to work.
Well, let me ask this before you dip out. How long is everyone sitting here? And then we'll just take a quick break.
What do you mean, how long are we sitting here? I'm just waiting on everybody else.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if the familiar dies instantly or if I see anything on the other side when it goes through.
once Modar's satisfied, I'm good to move along.
Okay. Modar, when your familiar makes it through, it'll see a lot of darkness. Everything around it seems empty. You only see one solid portion of land. And in the center, there appears to be a hole. It's about
Like-
20 foot below you.
Okay, so there's one landmass and a hole in the middle of the land, or in the landmass.
Correct. Everything else is complete darkness.
And he can still move and fly.
Yep. All right, Lindsay, you're good.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
I
Have fun
see.
at work.
Have a good one. I see only darkness. No king rules forever, my son.
Do anything else, Modar?
As long as it's, I'm gonna command it to get as close as it can to that land form. Like, how far away are we talking? Like miles and miles? Or are we talking like are we talking like 1,000 feet in front of us or 100 feet in front of him?
Well, the darkness is as far as that you can see, so you're not exactly sure, but the landmass itself is about 20 foot below you.
Have him go down and check the landmass out.
Other than there being that hole, as your familiar gives it a little look over, you'll see that the hole extends down until you can no longer see where the path leads. It goes down about at a 45-degree angle.
So it looks like it's like a hole down into the ground, but it's not like just a hole into blackness.
Correct. Kind of reminds you a bit of the lizard folk cave entrance.
I'll command the familiar to come back to me,
And it does.
and it's able to come back and go through the portal without any problem.
It won't go back through the portal, but it just like poofs and then poofs back to you, but it doesn't fly back towards anything.
Gotcha. So like when it turned around looking for the portal, it didn't see the portal anymore.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
I think we should consider stepping away.
Yes, indeed. I believe so. This is there is something in there, but it's hard to say what. There's one landmass inside that, and it goes down, and then it goes underground.
Well, guys, this has been fun. This has been real. Honestly, I don't think this is necessarily something we should aspire to do again. I think we got lucky with the fact that the evil dragon got sucked back through a dark, menacing portal.
There's no guarantee it won't step back out, so perhaps we step back away.
Yeah, let's get to the forest, guys. I think that's a great idea.
Full idea.
Well, as each of you begin to make your way away, well, at least the two of you, you'll note that the ground begins to form once again. Where the moat started now has become solid ground once more. From the outside perimeters, it seems to be shrinking down towards the center.
And you said that there were spots where the orb seemed to go before, correct? Like there were like a bunch of spots where it shot out or something earlier.
Correct. Three locations. One to the northwest, one to the northeast, and one to the south of the center.
I'm going to walk towards the one to the south and see if I see anything where I think that happened.
Making your way over, you don't see anything, unfortunately. There's nothing there.
All right, and then I'm going to keep following everyone else and start writing in my journal and trying to document everything that I saw and inside the portal and outside, and nod to my familiar to go keep an eye on the area and warn us if anything is incoming if it sees the dragon.
Nachi, how are you feeling after that? Are you a bit tired, a bit sore?
Who are you asking?
Zanashi?
I'm okay.
Okay, it looks like you got
little sleepy.
a little sleepy. I think we should get back a good little ways away from that, whatever the fuck it was, and call it an evening.
Which way are y'all heading? Back towards your landing spot to the west?
I think that works for me.
Before we do, I would like to go to that spot on the southern edge of the dirt, right where it meets the grass, where we saw a piece of the orb crash when it cracked.
I believe that was the same thing Modar was looking for. There's nothing there.
Okay. And not even an impact site?
Nothing.
Okay.
Unfortunately, just no check. There's just literally nothing there.
Got it. All right. Well, best to be sure.
Yeah, Motor is like, yeah, well, then while I'm taking notes, I want to look around. Is there high ground, or is there something where we can get better and like looking to try and find something about this ship? His mind is kind of split now between two different things, but still trying to figure out what's going on.
Understood. Unfortunately, well, it'd be difficult for you to tell. But Lusk, if you'd like to give him that information, you most certainly can. But unfortunately, there's no high ground. It was just the jungle surrounding the beach along the outside, and then the clearing in the center.
Can I... I'll fly up 60 feet above the trees. See if there are any clearings or anything of note.
Can you give me a perception check at advantage? As you're taking a look around, you can see that the storm off towards your east is growing much more broad in size. Seems to be getting a lot more violent as well. You'll note that it seems very strange. The storm seems to be growing, but it doesn't seem to be moving. Its center point seeming to be, well, focused in one area. But as you take a look around, gathering more information of the island, the Celestial Veil, you'll notice that the island seems wider. Maybe by a couple of miles on either side. The beach seems to be extending quite a bit.
So, like, the physical island is bigger.
Correct. That's how it
Or
appears.
or perhaps this could just be the tides receding, or I don't know, if you want to get crazy, maybe the oceans are receding.
Maybe there's a tsunami coming.
Oh God.
That was totally out of character, by the way. I was just wanting to make a joke.
I have no idea. This island is definitely
Bad
the
news
weirdest
bears.
thing I've ever seen. Oh, I love it.
Yes, this is very interesting. We'll see what happens.
Well, in that case, I mean, we could go to the beach and see if we can dredge something up, but there's nothing else obvious. Or perhaps we could just go to the southern tip. I'm sure nobody's been there in a good long time. But if we're going to search this island, I suggest going south or east.
Well, you've got a better view. If you say we'll go whatever direction you say would be best.
South or east sounds good to me.
It's only been a day, right?
Since being on the Celestial Veil? Yes.
Well, we got the time. Let's go south.
Are there still... Do we hear animals now?
No.
Do we hear things? No? Still no. Okay.
Good question, but no.
All right. Well, so let's venture south then.
Let's move you all about right there. At this point, being encased in the darkness, and after trudging through the thickened jungle, making your way through the bits of mud and then the bits of foliage that's found itself scattered amongst the jungle floor, each of you feel that it is growing quite late. The darkness seems to be, well, having a toll on each of you. But the farther away you make it from the center, the more sounds begin to meet your ears. The rustle of the trees from the wind blowing from the southern coast rustles above. You can hear the slight sounds of the waves crashing along the shore, just slightly. Then, little sign of life as you hear bits of seagulls and other seabirds flying about. At this point, we'll go ahead and take a small break and get back to it in, well, after you all camp for the evening.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright, so we'll be right back in just a few moments.
What was that?
All right. So, I got to admit, one thing I did want to say is, a little relieved that you all decided to GTFO from that situation.
Huh? I didn't get the fuck out. I wasn't running from that dragon.
You're gonna stay there, fight it alone.
No. He
The
was talking about
dragon-
leaving the area.
Yeah, leaving the area.
Well, the dragon did the GTFO out of there from us.
No, he's saying that maybe something bigger is coming through. Potentially.
I don't know. You guys can go
like
back and find out if you want.
It sounds like very much like a dad's home type of situation. So don't fuck around.
I think he's saying he's glad we decided not to go into the fucking portal and figure out what was in there.
I was going to, but then the dragon decided to go in and leave. But I was going to go in there and see if there was some way on the other side to, or even potentially lure him to the portal. If he feared that I was going to go in there and get something, maybe he had a stash in there or something, or I don't know. So I figured, oh, I was just going to give my fucking life just going in the damn portal just to save the rest of y'all. But
A valiant
obviously
person.
that didn't happen because the dragon decided to take off without me.
What an absolute hero.
But
Right.
I mainly just meant from that area. But with each of you setting up, getting everything ready for your camp, don't want to force it, but I'm guessing using Lehman's tiny hut.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I know. Last you said on break that you wanted to continue doing your armor. So if you can give me another leatherworking check for that, please.
Leatherworking.
Hey, better than last time.
By 2.
Still better. About halfway done in your completion. See that these scales from the dragon are a little bit more difficult to work than just like your regular leather, taking a bit more time and care going into it to get it exactly how you wish. But you're making progress. As I said, you're about halfway complete.
Okay.
Okay, so we do take a long, or it's a short rest.
If everyone agrees with that, then we can make our way into the night, and I'll see if
Yes.
I need any rolls.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are good. So during
23.
the night, you find it to be quite peaceful. Only the sound of the wind is heard, and your short rest will be complete. It'll move each of you to May 9th.
And as we leave and as we get away from there, we start to hear the sounds of animals and trees and things like that, right?
Just the birds, the rustle of the trees, and then the slight crash of the waves from the beach.
But there is at least some sign of life. It's not just barren like it was before.
Indeed, yes.
And I'm going to use Arcane Recovery to recover my second and first level spell slot.
Yeah, I couldn't have played that any better. I was exactly down 28 hit points.
Didn't you get hit by a poison for 30?
It's like half.
Did you take half a poison too?
Uh,
I thought it was
I
just
don't think from poison.
I don't remember.
Depends on your barbarian type. I don't know what he is.
The poison damage wasn't that high. I think it was only 21, not 31.
Okay.
But the main blunt of it was, I think, like the 32 from that crit, but it was negated because that part of it was piercing.
Yeah, okay. Because I know a lot of it was taken by the raging, but I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I thought that there was a ton of it that got.
I think
I know I would be
overall
dead.
Zanashi would have taken well over 100 points of damage if none of it was negated. You know, rough estimating. Maybe a slight exaggeration, but needless to say, the barbarian paid off there. But each of you find the night to be, well, quite nice. It's very quiet. Each of you get a nice, solid night of rest. During each of the watch, it is just peaceful as can be. Only the sounds of the trees are heard as the leaves rustle. Little bits of birds cawing out here and there. Get the idea that mainly the sounds being heard are that of seagulls. Waves crashing against the beach just off in the distance. Then each of you awake, beginning to start your morning routine to the smell of some elk stew. Valencia cooking up a bit of breakfast for each of you.
Hurry up, Valencia.
Don't
I
rush
definitely
me.
need this after yesterday.
It's almost done.
I pulled you away from the fire. Least you can do is hurry up and get me some breakfast. I'm hungry.
So rude, Zanashi.
I know.
Valencia just gives you a look, Zanashi. You can see that slight glare, but she just keeps stirring the kettle.
Also, I'm pretty sure it was Lusk that ended up getting her away from the fire, not Zanashi.
Do what?
Pretty sure it was Lusk that ended up getting her across the.
But who pulled her away from the edge and risked his life or risked her life to do so?
Yes, you did an absolutely wonderful job, Zanashi.
Everybody is alive. At the end of the day, I don't think anything else matters right now, Zanashi.
That's true.
I wink at Togo. You know, there are days with around this group where I definitely miss being Tugo.
True.
It seems like a
to be
long time
Tugo
ago now,
again.
doesn't it?
It was only a week ago, but to be Tugo again.
If we did, I think Modar's head would pop.
Probably. He might try to kill us again.
Again.
Only if you, how do you want to say this? Only if you threaten anybody.
Well, that is at least better than last time. But
I'll take it.
I didn't
You
make
did-
any threats the first time, to be fair.
You were destroying a town.
We didn't destroy a town. That was we clearly proved that was somebody else destroying the town.
At the time.
We
Yes.
only made it more lively. There was no destruction that we were directly causing. So how's
Fair.
breakfast?
Yeah, Valencia's a great cook.
Valencia is a good cook. Everything tastes pretty well.
Well, let's so what say we head down to the beach, see if we can dredge it. If there's a place where a ship will be, I would guess that's the closest we're gonna
We
come.
heard about a cave structure off the edge, off of a like cove, didn't we?
That is valuable information.
And
You weren't listening, Lusk, apparently.
oh, this was a long time ago. I think this was the first time that I talked to the captain that Sanzor sent me to. Adi said that there was a cove that... No, there was a cove that lots of boats sank off of. Because there's lots of high, like reefs or rocks or something like that.
Togo, do you have inspiration?
Yes.
All right, give this one to somebody else then, because I was wondering if anyone was going to remember this.
I'll give it to Lusk since he has nothing else.
Thanks.
Quite literally.
It's just me, these daggers, and 2 swords.
And half-finished armor.
And half-finished armor. Well, in that case, I suppose I should go for a mid-morning fly then, shouldn't I? I'm going to go ahead and presume this cove is either on the west side or the east, so I'll focus my vision there. We're close to the west, so we may just check it out anyhow.
Out of curiosity, Togo, do you remember? Remember the side of the island that it was given, or no?
I do not.
Oh. Northwestern side. So, somewhere over
Actually,
in this area.
was right before the first session.
Before you got the pick.
Yeah, before I got the pick. It was right before,
Right before you met the gnome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I thought this was something that you guys talked about on the ship on the way here. I remember there was
this was even before securing passage, even before fully deciding to take part in the brawl.
Yeah, this was a little while ago.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I feel less bad for not remembering then. Okay.
You know, I'm on a new PC, and I have some. My old notes are still on the other one, so I'm still kind of transferring things over, try to find things.
Yeah, just so you guys know my notes, when you guys landed on the west side and then decided to go towards the center, I just put goes towards center Celestial Vale, and then it's just 3 or 4 lines of question marks.
Listen, the last boats the last boats we came in contact with were underground.
That's...
Hey, follow the clues, Togo. So far, you're doing pretty damn well.
Well, Cove's lead underground, so...
Oh,
all right,
here fucking God.
Here we fucking go. So, here we fucking go, I guess.
What's the final piece? You've already been given that information.
Alright, well, next thing you know, you're gonna say, you know what else goes underground? Lava pits that shadow dragons disappear into. Guess what?
Fuck
Round
yeah.
2, bitches! Bum, 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 bum.
No,
Give me my Final Fantasy boss music, please.
But I'm glad you guys started putting those puzzle pieces together. So which way are you going, Lusk?
Well, I'll turn my eyes west and northwest, so I can look at the receding or the coast that you said was growing. I figured that's a good place where boats might wash up, and if there's a cove on the northwest side, should look there too. 60 feet up, please.
Can you give me a perception check at advantage? And the rest of you, as he begins to fly, giving a bit of a scouting mission along the coast, what do you do?
Just follow Togo around.
Probably follow I know I can't follow him at the same speed as him because he is flying, but just on the ground looking to see if there's anything hidden from the air. So basically just following behind him to make sure that there's nothing that's just obvious from the ground but not from the air.
Look at Zanashi. All right, Zanashi, we need to get to the northwest now, but let's avoid that area where that dragon was. So let's try and get that direction. You lead us to... You seem to be the best one in getting through these dense jungles.
And also,
Sure.
when I do fly up, I would look in all directions to make sure there's nothing already aerial, and I would only fly high enough that I cannot be seen from the center area.
Got it.
I'll start leading us through the dense jungle.
All right.
And as we're going, I'm still making as many notes as I can about the dragon and trying like everything that I can remember from the dragon, like making not necessarily drawings, so I'm not good at drawing, but like making like notes about the number of talons it had or the shape of the wings, things like that.
Modar, you have one bad drawing and suddenly you think you're a failure. Like, you gotta believe in yourself some. Like, it's okay.
Oh no, that's yeah. Modar knows that art is not his forte.
Well, with all this information being quite fresh in your mind, you're able to copy and make these notes nearly perfectly. Some things are left blank, more so of like questions yet to be answered. But if there's ever any time where you wish to recall the information, all you have to do is essentially ask, and I will give you that those details.
All right, cool.
So Lusk, as you're flying about, a few hours pass as you're making your way up to the west side of the coast and then up to the north. Everyone kind of lingers back just a bit, unable to match your speed. However, near midday, it's quite easy to see where there's this large amount of coral growing off the northwestern coast of the Celestial Vale. You also notice this large, looks to be hole, just barely covered by the water.
About how large would I say this hole is?
45 foot wide.
All right, yeah, that's a pretty big hole. Okay. Upon seeing that, I would return to the party. Looking for the telltale signs of Zanashi mowing down local fauna. Hard cut to Zanashi the lawnmower, deforesting the island like it's Minecraft.
Deflowering the island? What?
Deforesting. Oh, wait.
So, Lusk, you make your way back, and what I will do is I'll move you all to about this location, which is roughly where you all had actually landed. You'll see your boat still hidden and secured.
Well, I think we should probably keep searching around the edge, looking to see if we find another boat that's not our boat.
Yes, there must be something around here.
We said that about the middle of the island, and we were correct, but never been wrong once, this team.
In theory, yes. At this point, making your way up to this spot, you'll all note that the water seems to be receding a bit. You see where it once made its way up nearly halfway up the beach, now only making it about a quarter. Seems that the tide is going out.
Oh, so that's how the island grows. We should come back and tell them that every evening the island grows with a mystical power that coincides with the turning of the moon. I bet they would love that information.
Has this been essentially like tides going in and out, or is it actually getting like more and more beach? Is it actually getting lower and lower?
The tide's going in and out.
Okay. I was saying, because, yeah, Modar grew up on the ocean. He would understand what a tide is as it goes in and out. All right, well, that storm doesn't seem to be getting closer, so we're going to start looking into that. So is this something that, like a vertical shaft, or is it, like, at an angle that goes down?
Well, you're still a little bit away from it, but from the reports that Lusk has given you, it seems to be a angular shaft.
Gotcha. So it's something that we can walk into. We don't have to, like, rappel down.
Correct.
All right. Well, I suppose we should get ready to get there. Have our midday. How long in the day are we right now? Are we like halfway through the day or so right now? A little more than that.
Just a little bit past noon. Roughly 2, maybe 2:30.
All right. Yeah. We'll say we do our have some food and then continue that way.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Isn't this almost exactly where we landed?
Yeah, all you guys had to do is go north.
Hmm.
And you also had to time the tide. To be
All
fair.
right. If we didn't have it before, I would assume that I have disadvantage on all future investigative actions.
I think
for doing
that's for
something
the rest
that
of you all
dumb.
to decide.
So I'm sorry. Are we? So we're going to rest before we go in. I think I would prefer that, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it's not an actual rest in this campaign. A short
It's a
rest.
short
is
rest.
overnight.
Yeah, you guys can get
Yeah,
another
we just
short
heard a
rest
short
before
rest.
going in, but it's just getting towards near the evening hours by the time you make it to this location after a quick bite to eat.
Got it. Turning to Modar, do you have water breathing or any spells that can make us swim better or anything like that?
Does he look like a fish?
Well, a little bit. He is blue.
Weren't you inside him before?
What?
Modar?
Yeah.
I don't
No.
believe so.
Oh,
Not
Togo.
unless Togo and Modar had any kind of relationship I wasn't privy to.
I apologize. I had the names mixed up.
No, unfortunately, I do not have anything like that.
And, well, why would you? You can already breathe underwater.
It is true.
Well, fair shot. Well, hopefully we won't be spelunking down there for too long then.
Hopefully not.
So you guys gonna rest or go ahead and go make your way in?
You said we're in the evening hours now, right?
Correct. It'd be about like 4 hours till needing to like set camp.
I would like to try finishing my armor before we go in case things get hairy.
I think that's a fair point. On the other hand, do you want you and me to go and just poke our noses in, being quiet this evening, and we go in guns a-blaring in the morning?
I'll go with you, Togo.
That was not the... Actually, no, probably it's dark in there and I won't be able to see. Never mind. The lights give things away very easily.
A quick question. When is the tide lowest around here? That's when we should probably go.
Or we should go when the tide just reveals it, so we have as much time between the tide coming out and the tide coming in.
That is a wonderful idea. Do we have any idea of when that would be? Is there any kind of knowledge check that would be?
Each of you can give me an intelligence check, because you've been on the island long enough to kind of get an idea.
All right, thanks.
That one doesn't count. Roll again.
Can I use that for my crafting check instead?
No.
Can it be a... Okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, those are... Okay. I mean, those are 3 passes. Poor Sashi. But from your checks, each of you get the rough idea that the during midday and at night seems to be high tide, and during dawn and dusk is when it seems to be getting to be low tide.
All right. So we head out bright and early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the best plan.
Yes, sounds like a plan.
Call it early now, and then go as soon as we can in the morning.
For me to change out spells, can I change them out and prepare them in the middle after a short rest,
Yep.
or is it only during? I can do it after a short rest.
Yep, doing it per long rest would be well, fairly impossible to call, in my opinion, on what would happen during that week.
That's kind of what I was thinking. But
Even
we
in
just,
your guys' circumstance, even when you guys have been in major cities, there's been some shit going down, so those seem to be safe havens for others, while not so much for your guys' story. But, yes, you can change them out.
Yeah, I'm swapping a couple of spells out after this one.
Got it?
Pulling, I don't know if you need to... I don't know, can you see my character sheet when I do that stuff or not?
I can.
Alright, cool.
I can see if, I mean, practically everything, even, like, the markdowns of, like, when you cast a spell, if, you, like, mark it down in the sheet that it's been used or not. It gives a lot of information on a DM side. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Well,
What's that? Sorry.
nope, I was just thinking, that's gonna move us to, what, May 10th?
I
Something like
will be working my armor over that night in the hopes of finishing it. And, Togo, I wouldn't normally ask this, but perhaps you have some inspiring words for me?
If you finish your armor, you may not die, so let that inspire your work.
Always reminding me of what's important.
Yeah.
Lusk, it doesn't. Just kidding.
But yeah, before I can give you a bardic inspiration.
Thank you.
Die before.
Am I safe to roll?
Yes, leatherworking. Please, thank
All
you.
right. Now. And I'm going to use inspiration on that if I can.
Yep.
And just for fun.
Oh, you're using your actual inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay, noted. And then the bardic inspiration, so 37.
Nice reroll, man.
That was a good reroll. And I owe it all to Togo.
Can I say, I can remember conversations that I had after 3 sessions on an island about the island. It's a skill of mine.
I think I should try making armor for you at some point.
Can you give me an investigation check there, Lusk? Your armor will be complete. Getting those couple of extra hours in. And sorry, but I guess at least it's on this, and you didn't get like it wasn't vice versa.
Yeah, no, that's very fair.
But you'll note that this is, much better made. He definitely started getting the hang of it towards the end. You can see where like it's almost like rookie mistakes in comparison up on like the top half. Some of the things not being such prime and pristine condition as the dragon scales round like the little knobs and that give it like that bit of pop that Togo gave you direction on. However, you will know that this is a +1 leather armor.
Ooh.
Or a +1 leather or +1 studded leather?
Well, I just put leather from basic, but studded leather.
All right, nice.
But how does it look?
I'm presuming it's brown with red scales, and bits of lion's mane used for strapping. So if I have any say, hella good.
I will say there, bud, that last roll was really, really fantastic, especially with the bardic inspiration on top of it. But those other ones were, if they would have just been a little bit higher, it would have made that extra bump.
I had a 17 and a 19 and a 32. So yeah, it was
37.
for the first 2 rolls.
Yeah.
And a 37 for the. So what is that? An average of 36 plus 37 is 73. Divided by 3 is 20.
24.3. Continuing.
Damn.
I bet 25 was the cutoff.
Just about. But as player knowledge, there is more to it. You just don't know as a character.
Oh, that's fine. I have armor. This is something.
Yes,
This is an improvement.
I always expect that I will never do as well as I want to with crafting. I think I've learned to accept it at this point. My other character is literally a crafting character, so
But with that,
I'm happy with armor.
yes, the studded leather is an improvement nonetheless. But with that, each of you wake up quite early, get in that quick bite of some more elk, finishing off your little bits of breakfast before the sun even comes up in order to time the tide perfectly. As you all look out, you can see where the bits of the entrance begin to emerge from the water.
That's cool. So I'm assuming we're gonna head on in there then.
Move you all over to here.
Right. Well, who's excited to go underground where there's definitely not a deadly shadow dragon? I know I am.
I was excited until you told me there was not a shadow dragon.
Ah, you see. You may be surprised. Unless you're not. Perhaps you'd prefer
So-
me to stalk ahead if we think there are any enemies here.
Probably a good plan. Who knows? Like, the last one that we saw was in the middle of a like never-ending death cave, like a death cave worshiping a death goddess. So like that's the kind of things we're dealing with in these caverns.
Yes, this hole in the ground definitely reeks of Death Goddess. I would know.
Granted, we don't know if there's death goddess energy vibes here. There could be zero death goddess stuff here, but that was what we had at the last one.
Lusk, I think it's safe to point out nothing but the smell of salt water meets your nose.
Oh, whew, good.
You see, that's where you're wrong. Eldritch cosmic beings descended from the cosmos themselves often like large open brine holes such as this. I'm sure we will find something abhorrent here.
Ah, yes. I
Togo, add your token.
Oh.
I gotta know where you are
sorry.
before Lusk goes any farther.
It's like, before it takes one step. Initiative!
Well, I'm sure Alencia would be in the
Oh, well,
front.
where
not the
Togo
back.
just placed himself, no, we're just kidding.
Oh, that's where the trap was, right?
Yeah. But he wasn't on the grid, so I wasn't gonna count it.
Yeah, I was just throwing it on there.
Yeah, I'm just playing. As each of you make your way in, where the light kind of you would imagine just being totally escape from sight, you see little bits of green, red, yellow, purple fluorescence glowing just a slight bit as you begin to make your way in through the entrance.
So we can actually see. I like this cave.
Before you, about 10 feet away from you, Lusk, you see the water begin. You see it grow deeper and deeper as it continues around a bend to the east. Around where it meets the turn, you see where the ceiling meets the top of the water. Continuing on, you know that you'll be completely submerged.
You said the ceiling meets the water?
Yep. When it wraps around about here, anywhere farther is completely underwater.
All right, Aquaman, you're up.
All right. Well, in that case, I stealth up and move to submerge myself in the water. I would also like to make sure that I'm checking for creatures, any other signs of interactions with the cave, where anything had been moved, removed, changed, etc.
Sure,
Added.
go ahead and give me a perception check. And is this just before you or around the bend? Just to double check.
As I'm stepping into the water.
Okay.
All right. Stealthy check at normal. Perception check at normal.
So before you just see the various greens, blues, yellows that line the room of the fluorescent coral. When it wraps back around, you don't see anything else of note. There's a bit of stone that line the bottom, and little bits of seaweed here and there as well. But you don't see any sign of life or any disturbance along the floor or the walls.
All right. I begin swimming up the cavern, sword in hand.
The rest of you? As Lusk goes completely underwater and around the bend.
I will try and quietly follow Lusk as well.
Yep, Modar will start to follow.
I follow Togo.
I was gonna try and be sneaky with it. But guess we're all going.
You have a very impressive stealth check.
Thank you.
I'm not
That's what I was
trying to be
saying.
quiet.
That's why I was saying you and me be sneaky because I figured we have the.
I have plus 11. I just roll awful.
Whew.
I guess I get nat 20s on things that don't matter and occasional craft checks, I guess.
Listen, nat 20s on craft checks. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. I'll accept that. I have a plus 12 on my leatherworking though. It's just sad that I keep getting 17s.
Lusk,
I actually.
as you come around the corner, you'll note that there is a fairly large statue towards the center of this room. You can make it out bit by bit from the fluorescent lights that seem to continue wrapping around the bend.
One, how tall is it? Two, what does the statue look like it's of?
If you get a bit closer, I'll give you a bit more description. The height seems to be roughly 10 foot.
I would like to cast a minor illusion of a person that's swimming right next to the statue right here, just to see if anything nearby reacts to it. Maybe like a goblin or something.
Yep, goblin pops out. Gobbo pops out from under a rock. Got him!
Any rocks?
I don't have a single spell without a verbal component.
Alright. I could. Oh shit! Is minor illusion, is that a somatic verbal or is it just verbal? I don't actually know. I might have fucked that up. I forgot you can't.
I don't think it is. I think you did it before. But, Togo, I am sorry.
I was looking at it like, I can't do anything down here, can I? Nope.
Oh, thank you. Somatic material, I'm fine. Alright, so in that case, I will round this corner, swim up to the statue, and I will investigate it just without touching it. I'd also like to percept this room, for sure.
So as you make your way in, you can see that the coral wraps around the perimeter, giving the room just enough light to see everything. The rocks and seaweed that line the bottom. You can see little bits of sea life in this room, crabs, shellfish, that are kind of scurrying, getting away from you as you make your entrance. Can you give me a perception check, since you're not touching it? I'm just giving it a look over. Before you stands a large stone statue, roughly 10 foot in height. It is a male creature decorated in what appears to be some type of plate armor. It is quite notable that this isn't made of steel or metals that you're used to, but you're not 100% sure of what it's crafted of. Its hands sit near the waist, clutching a hilt of a sword. The rest of the sword seems to be broken away. The other thing of note is that you'll see a path leading to the east, that the coral does not go down and the path becomes dark.
Is that this?
That spot that.
Oh, okay. That. Alright.
And I'm sorry, one more thing, my friend. There seems to be some type of scribbles and scribings along the statue as well, but you're unable to read it.
Summoning Modar forth.
Yeah, Modar's gonna come up, take a look.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna look for some air bubbles on the ceiling and suck those bad boys down.
Unfortunately, my friend, you don't find any.
How long have we been down here?
Just about 30, 40 seconds. You guys
Okay.
have plenty of time.
I'll swim over and look at the statue as well.
Do I recognize the writing, the language?
No, unfortunately not.
Can I make a history check to get an idea of who this figure is, or what they represent?
Is this a shrine?
Maybe.
Do I see the writing? I'm assuming.
Yes,
They're-
you don't understand it either.
I'm gonna swim back out. And,
Get that breath of air.
yep, and then cast Comprehend Languages.
Good call.
And then swim back in.
So just a moment passes as Togo swims away, using the infamous halfling doggy paddle. Gets back. Togo, when you make your way back, you can see that these engravings kind of rearrange themselves a bit. You notice Sanashi looking it over, realizing this is a shrine of some type. You see the words form along the base of the statue. Protected by the sea, to keep him from being free, hands hold what you cannot see, clutching the missing key.
Can I use prestidigitation to write that? Because I can make a color or small mark for a symbol appear on an object and surface. Could I write like one word at a time for Modar and Lusk to see?
I posted it in a chat for y'all.
What's this thing look like it's made out of?
Just stone. The only difference between this and the other things that you've seen is that this doesn't seem to be emitting any light. The light cast upon it is coming from the coral that lined the room.
I would like to touch the statue to see if there's any pieces of it that move. In particular, the sword and the armor. And looking to see if there's anything beneath the armor, if it does move.
You can go ahead and give me an investigation. Running your hands over it, while it appears to be smooth while looking, you can feel where there's little bits of rivets. Just this slight little bit of rising and lowering upon the shoulders and some other parts of the armor. Gives you the idea that this is made out of some type of shell. But moving, tugging things here and there, nothing seems to move. The only other thing of note is that underneath the hilt, where it appears that the sword seems to be crumbled and missing, you see where it is clearly broken away.
When I look at the sword, does it look like it's been broken, or does it look like it was made broken? If you understand what I mean there. Does it look like the sword was broken after it was made?
It looks
or
like
was
it was
made this way?
intended.
It was intended to be broken?
And the sword be removed?
No, it cannot.
If I try to touch the blade where the blade part that's missing, is there anything that... Does my hand feel anything besides just water?
Unfortunately, just water.
Can I take the hilt of the sword from his hands?
No.
All right. Well,
It appears to be like one solid piece. Doesn't appear to be like placed in or anything of the manner.
all right. I will swim back for fresh air, and then come back to continue going further down.
Tanashi, what do you do?
I attack the statue. I attempt to chop its head off.
And as each of you hear a bit of a ping, you turn. You can see where Zanashi has made a swift attack. And the head, being broken off, drifts down to the floor. And as it connects, a plume of sand comes from the bottom. And then with that, that's where we'll call tonight's session.
And we'll find out next week if I made a mistake.
100%.
Yeah.
100% I made a mistake, or 100% we'll find out?
100% we'll find out. I'm not going to tell you whether or not you made a mistake.
I'm like 80% on the made a mistake.
I will say, though, Zanashi, some of the stuff that you have done has severely impacted other campaigns, or they've seen repercussions.
I love it.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you what it's from, but I mean, you've done plenty of things, laid traps, things of that manner, so it's always been kind of fun to describe those things later.
Yeah. I mean, this is, it sounded like some kind of banishing or some kind of seal was attached to this. So I can't wait to see what ungodly creature this was attached to. That definitely wasn't just freed.
Protected by the sea to keep him from being free. I think it's the water that's keeping him there. Because protected by the sea to keep him from being free. Hands hold what you cannot see, clutching the missing key. So I was looking at his hands to see if the hilt was something that
That's what I was
could
thinking
be
too.
a key.
Oh man, you guys are like dancing around it. You're there. Just missing something. But don't worry, there are plenty more things to figure out making your way through here. If I do say so myself, I think this is one of my favorite things that I've created. Especially with the environment.
Mm-hmm.
If only we have the ability to breathe underwater.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
guys.
Or cast spells that require verbal components.
I mean, most of mine are somatic.
Maybe this was done on purpose.
Some would say it might be kind
to keep
of
us honest.
kind of planned. No, but I hope you guys had fun tonight, and I will say that I was not 100% sure of what you all were going to do with when we were starting the session. So I am glad that I prepared like more and just didn't like write it off as like, well, you guys are fucked, and just left it at that. Because of course running is an option. So would it definitely sucked if I was just like, oh, okay, you guys ran? All right, well, we'll need to, stop it here because I don't have anything else prepared. That would have been shitty. Especially after being a month off. But I think, Clue, if you can confirm, we get to finish out our TOA game tomorrow?
I believe so, man. Sandman's supposed to be there.
I'm good for
everybody.
tomorrow.
I think everybody's going to be there finally.
Ooh, that's exciting. You guys have been playing that one for a while.
Yeah, I just pushed Artis off the edge into the lava.
Yeah, he did.
Suck a nut.
And then as I did, I gave him two middle fingers and then kept going towards the boss. That's what he gets for killing all my only friends.
He just sent like one of the few legendary items over into the deep
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
lava
to me.
pit.
Vengeance,
thing
vengeance is what he was after.
Like that, if there was a what is it called? Storm King's Thunder campaign attached to it, that campaign would have been completely upended if I'm correct.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
it
I
did.
don't know.
It doesn't matter. He killed my friends and he tried to kill my brother.
But anyways, guys, I
Good
gotta
night,
go,
everybody.
man.
Night.
Good night.